And Ted talking about the driving, like after I had the driver license,
Driving
how
license.
I try is not make a trouble with the police. Some
Basically,
rules.
make sure you learn the signs, and your speed limits, and the directions. And you have to drive with somebody that's been driving for so long to teach you to make sure you
How
know.
long for it?
And they pretty much have to sign saying you know what you're doing before you actually get your license. So you need to find somebody that's already got an existing license. And there's schools you can pay for a driving school, so that's something they might want to look into. That's where a lot of things is with the pedal bikes and stuff. You don't need a license. You just got to follow the rules, and there's usually bike lanes and they're well marked. With a picture of a bicycle, and then you don't need to worry about a license right away. It's just if you're in a colder climate, you might have to bundle up and worry about ice, slippery.
Yeah.
So if you're coming from a climate like what you did, where you don't have slippery, icy roads, and you come up here in the North Woods, we're going to have a good several months where snow, ice, so bike might not be good, but the roads in the cities and stuff where the big colleges are pretty well cleaned up, and they got ice removal and stuff. But driver's license, if you don't know nobody that can train you, there are schools, and then you can, like the area you're going to come and live, you can go look for a driving school, and they'll take you in somebody at the cost. I don't know what the costs are for driving schools now, but they do have them. So, and then you always see, if you start looking, you'll see cars that say student driver.
Yeah.
And you meet somebody and they go through the written stuff. You learn all the rules, and then books are on the internet. So if you can look at your like the state you're looking at going to, and it'll say Department of Transportation. And then drivers, and then you can find their manual and you can study it before you get here, so you know what our street signs look like, what they mean, and they'll, so you can come here and then take a written test. Once you take a written test, now you basically get a learner permit, and now you can drive with somebody that's got a license over so long, and then you get so many hours in, and I don't know what the current rules it was. You didn't have to go behind the wheel now or something. You hear anything about that?
What?
But to get your license now, you just have to have so many hours of driving with somebody to get your license. Now they don't do it behind the wheel.
When you get your temps.
Temporaries, but
Yeah, I don't
somebody
know.
told me
The
they
last-
took because of COVID and
When I
everything.
went to
They
get-
didn't. They couldn't. They just have to go with somebody that'll gonna sign off saying yes, you have this many hours. But the driving schools can do that for you, and I don't know
I
what
got
they
my,
cost, but you can find them out on the internet in the area you're gonna go. But that would be the first thing to do before you even come here. Is if you know the area you're gonna go to and want to go to, is look that state's Department of Transportation, and you can get their manual, and any of the states will have all the basic same rules. Signs are all the same, stoplights and everything, but their rules of how to get your license will be on the internet. They're on their websites. So, but that would be the start, is to get here to learn what our street signs mean here, and pretty much any of the states, if you could find their driving manual for license online, then you'll learn what our signs are and mean, because some go by just shape. Some are just a shape, and you got to know what does that shape mean on that sign. Like the shape of a house, is typically school, and then there's different speeds, but it's posted, so okay, we see the school time and kids, to drive at that speed during that time down them streets, and a lot of them have lights. But different signs, different shapes mean different things, and that's what they go when you take a test. It's like it won't have the word on it. Most of them have the word on it. They'll say school, but they want you to know by shape. For a distance, you can't read the word. Oh, you see that shape, you know what that means. The triangle, the stop signs, are the different shapes before you can actually read them.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
About
I
this-
still think they do driver's tests though, because when I went to get my driver's license renewed, there was people waiting to get.
Yeah, and that's what I said. I just
driver's
heard that.
test.
That's what I thought too. But you still have to have so many hours. You get a learner permit, and you still have to have so many hours with somebody taking you out and showing you actually how to physically. You may know how to drive the vehicle.
Yeah.
But to physically, are you slowing down? Are you understanding, the crosswalks and stuff like that? In general, the rules are pretty much the same worldwide. It's just, you know, understanding what the different markings mean, you know, and how it is on the roads, like especially if you come from an area that there's not a lot of cars driving. You know, most people like you were on the bikes, but it's pretty much follow the symbols, you know, and then etiquette, you know, different things to do in the roundabouts where there's no stop signs. You pretty much got to know the etiquette that if who's got the yielding, and that's where somebody that drives can go and show you and teach you and stuff. And it says that online who that person can be. So much experience, you know, like they have to have a driver's license for so many years, and then they could take you and they qualify as a person to teach you.
Yeah.
They can legally be in the vehicle with you, and then you got to have so many hours of daytime driving before you can start driving at night, and then stuff like the highway driving, you know, and then, you know, it's like a thing to teach to know, and then when they think you're comfortable enough that they're willing to say, yes, you got these many hours, and then you can go back to the transportation department and say, I'm ready for my test, or I'm ready to get my license. Then when you get your license, they typically have what they call a probationary period. You have them, and it's like so many years before what they call a permanent license, you know, so it's like you have them, and it's like you gotta really know that, you know, what you're doing. And if you start getting lots of accidents and stuff, they might say, no, you know, we're taking your license away because you only had a temporary. You need to go get more training from somebody, because apparently you can't, you know, like if you're doing stuff wrong and you're getting problems, then they might say, oh wait, you have a probationary license, and you only had like not 3 strikes and you're out, whatever it is. I don't know what it was when I got my license. I don't know if they changed that much, but it was like basically if I got major traffic violations or something, it's like I was going to lose my license for so many months till either that or take a course.
It's easier to lose them with a probationary than a
Yeah, that's
regular.
what I was trying to get at. So basically, you want to make sure you know all the rules and yet you can drive good before you actually go get your license.
Yeah.
Yes.
How many years we renew the license?
10.
10 now?
10?
Yeah, probationary is 2,
10
isn't it?
years?
Yeah, probation you get for
And
2 years.
And it's on your birthday.
Then every time your birthday, every 10 years.
Yeah.
Ah,
So like
For
every
my
time
birthday?
your birthday comes around,
On your birthday, you
every
have
10
to have
years,
it
yeah.
renewed, and then they give you 10 more years.
10
then
more
you go in
years.
and they check. You go in and they'll do the thing. They check your eyes, and then they tell you. So let's say somebody they can see good with glasses, but without glasses they can't. So there's a certain level of how well your vision is. So they check that, and then there might be a notation that if they think you need your glasses so you can read signs and see things, you'll have on your license, you need to wear your glasses.
Yeah.
And if you get in an accident and you didn't have your glasses on, you could be at fault for that accident.
Yep.
So even if you have a moped and you're driving, certain ones of them you need a license anyway. You know, to get the moped bikes, you got to have a regular driver's license before you can
Did you know
drive.
that?
But if you get the pedal ones with the motor,
Yeah.
Yeah.
whatever they call it, well, that's moped, not the scooters.
Yeah, those are
Mopeds are with the pedals on them. There's and with a little boost electric motor or something like that. That's just like riding a bike. You don't
you
really
know
need a
that-
license for that.
Did you know that Craig asked the sheriff
If she could,
if she could drive with a Vietnamese driver's license here?
yeah.
Say she was visiting, can she drive? And he couldn't answer it. He
Yeah,
didn't know.
I know there's something, but it's if you're going to be here for so many. I mean, I know there's something about traveling with a license from another thing. I don't know the exact rules, but that's something I should look up. But about being in another country and using your license there, I don't know if you have to apply for something, but they don't give you like a permanent use license. Just like here, if you came here and you went to school in Florida,
Yeah.
and you got a driver's license, and then let's say you moved from Florida to Texas.
Yeah.
If you plan on staying in Texas for I don't know the
90
time, but
days.
if you're going to move there and live there more than a certain amount of time, you need to actually go to their DMV and say, I'm changing my license, and you need to actually get a Texas license.
Yeah.
You know, if you're living there permanently, then like if you move your residence, but you basically need to go to the state that you're going to call home, even if it's just for school for 2-3 years or 1 year. And that's where you get your license at, that state where you're going to college or where you're going to have that temporary job at until you figure things out. But once you move and you decide this is where I'm staying now, and it's going to be, an extended period, now you need to go and apply for your license there. You typically do not have to go behind the wheel and everything. They'll just check your eyes again, and then you fill out the forms, they check it, and you're just changing your license from one state to another and getting your proper address on that.
They just check and we don't have the test.
You don't have to do a test to change states.
Just change the license.
It's just basically a quick check your eyes, whatever thing they normally do. Anytime you're doing anything with your driver's license, they always check your vision. You always check your vision, just to see if anything's changed. It seems like every time they're doing their driver's license, here, put your hat up on here, and it's a little thing, and they just want to see if you're colorblind or not. So then, they got to know if you can identify sign colors. Red means what? The stoplights, red, green, yellow. They got to know if you can identify that, and it's a test to tell if you can differential that. And that's colorblind people can usually tell shades. But they want to know, okay, if they do that, you're colorblind, they'll test that. That's why they always check eyes, because things can change for people. You can't see as good. They make, go get a eye doctor and get glasses, and now you can drive, but you got to drive with glasses now, and it'll be right on your license.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, that's typically it is. If you go get your license in the state you're going to come to and be living in, and then if you move after you graduate or change colleges, and if you go to a different state, then you need to transfer your license to that state.
To transfer.
Yeah, you just go to the DMV and say, I'm living here. And if you have a change of address, you're supposed to like if you were in an apartment, like on a dormitory, and then you move off to a different place, you got to change your address on your license. And you just go to DMV, fill out the paperwork. Where are you living now? So that way, if they have to inform you on stuff, there's your license is before renewed, they'll send a letter that your license is renewing. So they know where you are to send that stuff. And that's also to know where everybody is,
Yeah.
So
I just thought when we transfer to other state, we had to take a test to get the driver license. I thought before,
at home?
Yeah.
Oh, because here they did not like a full test to do it, unless something comes up that people, that like, maybe they think, wait, your ability to drive is not there anymore. If they notice something in some of the tests, maybe somebody could say that, well, we need to check you. But typically everybody that I've known that's traveled for work and moved different jobs, they just basically go in and they do the thing, and and they switch the license, pay the counter fee and whatever it is, they switch it, and then they go from there. And then if you buy the other thing, not driver's license, now you also have to consider, okay, you get a driver's license. Now the vehicle you're using, you've got to have insurance on it, not what they call liability. Yeah. Even if it's a moped or something, or you should have insurance, because if you're driving a scooter down the road and you hit somebody, and they go to the hospital, and it's your fault, you're responsible for their doctor bills and damage. So you make sure if you get in a vehicle, you got the money to pay for the insurance, So that's where I see where a lot of college kids are. That's why I get back to where a lot of them are driving their bikes and pedal bikes and stuff like that, because the chance that something's going to happen on a pedal bike, that you're going to really hurt somebody.
And what do you do when you are driving in the road and the police want you stop? And what
you just pull over and don't. If you're driving and they got the lights, you pull over. And my always thing is if it's at nighttime, turn the dome light on. We have the light inside the vehicle. Turn it on so they can see the inside the vehicle, and roll the windows down. And just keep your hands. Don't be fishing around for stuff.
Back to the head.
What's that?
We had to put the hand.
Oh, you
back.
had to do this. I always put them on the steering wheel here. There's no really
still.
rule. I just keep my hands in sight. So if anybody's worried about that, because they're not, it's like if you do that and it's always yes sir, yes ma'am, just listen to what they say, And basically, you always got to carry registration of your vehicle and proof of insurance with you in your vehicle or on you, so because that's the law. We got to have insurance to protect other people if something happens to you. If you do something and hurt them, just the same thing. They need to have insurance if they run into you or whatever. So that's so if they stop you, it's most likely they're going to stop you because, well, maybe you missed the light or a stop sign, or you didn't turn you cross the yellow line, you
Yeah.
cross the center line, and they're thinking, oh, maybe they're drinking, and you might have just been like distracted, or maybe something ran out in front of you, but they didn't see that, and they just saw you go over the line. Oh, okay, they're doing their job, they're pulling you over, or who knows, maybe you were in an area that somebody did something bad and they took off on a bike. Just assume, okay, hands, bike or car. I always roll
And
the window
listen
down
to
so
the
they can
police.
see, turn the light on, keep your hands up, and just don't move your hands until they're going to get what they ask you, you know.
Yeah.
If they ask for your wallet, just say, okay, it's here, or where's your registration? If it's in your glove box or the council, say, okay, it's in the council, I'm going to get it out, you know. But they always say, I was always told by even all the police officers that I've known, just no erratic movements in the vehicle, just sit and wait for them to come up. You know, just stay calm, talk to them nice, and then when it's done and over, they're going, okay, thank you for, you know,
Yeah.
the trouble, and away you go. So
Yeah. Thank you, Ted.